So hello everyone, welcome to the podcast series of My Fine Diet. We aim to bring sustainable, healthy dietary behavior for everyone.
So please like, share, and comment if you actually like our podcast. This is our very first try to actually do our own series of podcasts because we think that we have a lot to share. We have a lot of things to actually do with podcasts. So this is our first try. We are very noob. We just Google everything, honestly. Yeah. So please feel free to give us any feedback or comments or any kind of like suggestion for us to improve after you already listen or watch to this podcast.
Yeah, but most importantly, make sure to follow and give us more comment.
Yep. And today we're going to talk about is Malaysian diet healthy? So we're going to go not too deep, but quite deep into whatever that we think we can talk about Malaysian diet, something that is relevant, something that is not very technical or very scientific. It's our daily thing. So that's something that we're going to discuss further so that you can find the relevancy of listening and watching our podcast as well.
Yeah, and especially both of us are coming from different race, so we definitely have some different opinion to share with you.
All right. I believe that it's like out of the blue, right? There's like these two people, being in a podcast, and yeah, I mean like out of the blue, right? So maybe you should know a little bit about ourselves, despite watching some of our reels or video or our posts on My Fine Diet Instagram, but who we actually are. So I think it's good for us to have a little bit of introduction. But we are so sorry in advance. We are recording under like quite an open area, so we're gonna sweat. It's very natural, so we just wanted to make you feel that it's just authentic as we can, as natural as we can. So yeah, maybe you can just introduce yourself a little bit.
So I believe all of you have been seeing my face on My Fine Diet as well. My name is Shani. I'm a co-founder of My Fine Diet, and currently I'm working as a dietitian under a supplement company. But at the same time, I'm also a freelance dietitian. Mainly what I do, whenever clients come to me with their need consultation, which related to the disease, that is what I do usually. Yes.
That's
How about you?
So basically, I am a co-founder of My Fine Diet, and also I'm working as a freelancer with a Brazilian company, but it's actually related to travel. It's related to travel enrichment field, I would say. So it's two different things that I'm kind of like doing right now. But in general, I'm a freelancer. I'm not pretty much like working with any Malaysian company or things like that. Yeah, but I think it's also good for you guys to know we were actually classmates back in university. We graduated from University Putra Malaysia in Bachelor of Science Dietetics in 2020. It's already 4 years.
4 years back.
It's crazy to think that it's already 4 years. We started My Fine Diet back in 2020, and we are actually a startup. So basically, it was part of the thing that we co-founded since we graduated 2020. Yep. And then basically it's My Fine Diet, okay? It's not My Fin Diet.
A countless time of reminding everyone, but
Yep,
it's My Fine Diet, correct.
And we aim to bring a sustainable, healthy dietary behavior for everyone. And the main thing of our mission is that we want to increase the accessibility and visibility of dietitian in Malaysia. And we believe that we are the first dietitians in Malaysia who started this podcast. This kind of like podcast.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so. I never seen any before. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of our efforts to make sure that people know dietitian, people know that these young people in front of you right now are dietitians. So don't be afraid to talk to us. Like whenever that you having any doubt, kind of like information, you can always go to My Fine Diet to find your diet. Yeah, that's what we stand for actually.
My Fine Diet, go find your diet. Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
That's the tagline. Yeah. So I think since today we are talking a little bit about we're talking about Malaysian diet. So maybe you can share a little bit on how is the environment that you grown up since young, as mainly you are in Malay community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think any of us who is growing up as a Malay, I would say in Malaysia specifically. I mean, we have a lot of Malay, right? Like Singaporean Malay, Indonesian Malay. So I have to specifically mention Malaysian Malay.
Yeah.
I think I grew up a lot eating, of course, food, Malay food, where I remembered that we usually will spend our holiday, like we have like every December, you remember that we have like 1 month of a school break. So I usually will spend my my end year break with my grandma at my grandma's house together with my cousin. So we will usually, like, growing up eating all this kind of like asam pedas,
Sedap.
yes, gulai, and then all the sambal, you name it, whatever sambal, and then we will start our breakfast with, at least my grandma will do will cook nasi goreng, and then we will eat lunch, maybe nasi putih, and also like asam pedas kuah banjir, definitely
That is the best
100%.
part.
Yep.
Okay.
And then sometimes they will also have like condiments, for example macam sambal belacan, or it could be, what we call that, I forgot, like there is this like brown thing, cicalo, I think it's cincalo or something.
Cincalo,
Yeah,
okay.
cincalo, it's really nice, but I think it has been maybe 10 years since I last actually eat cincalo. And then on top of the kuah banjir, we will actually put another condiment of like kicap manis. Yeah, exactly. And then my grandma will make sure that we will have at least one sweet drinks, maybe like an orange juice or something. Yeah, and then that's like for lunch, right? And that's just me saying that it's just one meal. But imagine if it's a good meal, I will maybe tambah. I will add like my nasi more, right? Or my rice more. Yeah, and then after that, we will go for like afternoon tea.
Okay.
My grandma will like bake some, I don't know, kuih Melayu, kuih lapis, or a lot of kuih ketayap, those kind of like a lot of Malay punya kuih. And then dinner we might actually eat whatever that we eat the same like during the lunch. Yeah, and then because we are staying together with our cousins, like sometimes in the evening we will, like do some sports, like kampung punya sports, like, I don't know if you guys know rounders. I think if you
Rounders?
play rounders, is like dia macam, I don't know, I forgot lah the name. I really forgot the name, but I believe if you have heard rounders, you will know what is rounders. It's like dia macam, it's like cricket, cricket, right? Tapi it's like we maybe just use like a racket of like tennis racket or something, and then sometimes we just play like football at our nenek punya like house area.
Depan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then imagine, being very young and kids, right? Then you coming back from like playing some games, and then you come back, you'll be like super hungry. Then we will like eat a lot during dinner, and then after dinner we usually will sleep maybe late, and then we will cook like instant noodle. I don't want to say the brand, all right? I won't say the brand, right?
About to come out this
Yeah,
okay.
about to come out, because that's how we usually say, it's like, well, whatever that we say, it's actually a brand. It's supposed to be like instant noodle. Then after that, we will still eat instant noodle at late night. So you imagine, I would say that maybe for a couple of years, I grew up in that kind of like environment, eating, and then don't even mention about Hari Raya. Don't even mention about kenduri kahwin. Don't even mention about, even when I'm back at my own home, right? My mom will cook a lot. Like, she knows what's my favorite food. So yeah, that's basically, I grew up Malay food, a lot of santan. What is santan in English? Coconut milk.
Coconut milk, yeah.
Oil, and then sweets as well, because we have a lot of like kuih muih, and then some drinks. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean drinks is pretty normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, that's how I grew up in a Malay kind of like settings or environment. We never talk about vegetarian or like becoming a vegan in a Malay diet. Yeah, because everything is like at least meat or chicken or something fried. Yeah.
Okay.
So that at least for Malay, you guys can comment and share if you think that there is more relevancy or any other things that you've been growing up as a Malay, then you feel free to actually share. Yeah. What about Chinese?
Chinese. I mean, how I grown up in the environment.
It's similar like what I shared just
now. I think actually a few points is pretty similar as what you said, especially on the kueh part. Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe let me just start with what I usually take in the morning in my environment itself. Usually they will go for like certain kind of noodles. They will go to if let's say they prepare it at home, I would just take some bread and with chocolate drinks, which I don't mention the brand again, but it's everyone know lah.
You mean a malted drink?
Yeah, the malted drink.
Yeah, it's not chocolate, right?
The malted drinks, and then put together with maybe bread with butter or kaya, or sometimes might have some half-boiled egg. That's a typical breakfast. And some of the times they might get some soup or noodles or even chicken rice. Yeah. So that is how we take our breakfast. And during the school time, they will go to school, and then during recess time, me as a kid, I will always go to the canteen and buy a lot of snacks because back then a lot of fried stuff, right? Yeah. So that's the best part.
Yeah, even school part.
Yeah,
we
school
forgot
part.
to mention. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and after that, coming back, I mean, me growing up with quite a lot of tuition class that I need to attend.
I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah. So
I mean, Malay also have like that lah,
Yeah.
but I think Chinese, they emphasize a lot on like education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah. So coming back from school, then back then I have a maid at home. So the maid actually will cook anything. Usually it comes with rice and very little amount of vegetables, but sometimes with fried chicken, or sometimes they stir fry the chicken or certain meat and things like that. So that's pretty much for the lunch. And then afternoon tea, that is a part where I think a lot more Malaysians will actually share the same thing, like pisang goreng,
Yes.
and all those
Kopok
kueh.
leko.
Yes. And when my mother come back from work, she'll always just bungkus some of the street food, and then we were just going to take it. And sometimes we will take biscuit, some
Chicha.
crackers, chicha,
Yes.
with the malted drink again.
Yeah, I think that's very similar, not just Malay or
Yeah.
like Chinese. I think the whole Malaysia, even for Indian culture as well. I think like anyone who is Malaysian lah, I think we share the similar kind of like
Yes.
food culture when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other?
And after that, going to dinner. Dinner, you usually eat back what we have during lunch. But me growing up in an environment where there's a lot of makan besar, there's a lot of gathering dinner and things like that. So when it comes to gathering dinner, I'm the person who will eat a lot. So it's like 3 bowl of rice, 2 to 3 bowl of rice is what I take. And my family will always say, "Oh, you are like such a big eater," and things like that. But that was me when I was young, growing in an environment where food is easily accessible.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
But one thing to notice, right, it's actually very salty
For Chinese food.
for Chinese.
And
Yeah.
I think you add a lot of like tepung jagung or something, right?
Tepung jagung, some of the things they want to make it like, pekat.
Yes.
Yeah. So they add with the tepung, and then with oyster sauce.
Yeah, oyster sauce.
Oyster sauce is a must. We don't take much of the kicap manis, but yes, soy sauce and oyster sauce is a must. And sometimes they add on with different rempah, different of herbs.
Yeah, if we talk about rempah, Indian food.
Yeah, Indian food.
I think it's also another thing. Like Indian food, it's heavily depending on rempah as well. If I'm not mistaken, you may correct me as well. But what I know is like curry, dal, semua tu kan, and a lot of like gravy and kuah as well. Which I think it's similar to Malay lah. When it comes to this kind of like food, I think Malay and Indian macam ada a little bit more similarity compared to like Chinese food, I think.
Yeah. But I think what is one thing special about Indian culture is that the traditional food are mainly based on tepung, mainly based from flour. Yeah. And one more thing about Chinese, like they have a lot of soup, different type of soup. Yeah. When it comes to soup, they add in all the seasoning and things. It is nice. They add it together with rice, and that's why we will eat a lot more. You know, when
So sorry that we have to change place because it was really hot just now. I think both of us already started to sweat. Yeah. Okay. So I think what you were saying just now is about
the soup.
Yeah, about the soup, right?
Usually they will add a lot of seasoning, especially in Chinese lah. They will add a lot of seasoning, and sometimes for certain soup, after you drink it, right after you go out from the restaurant, you might feel thirsty right after.
Yeah, you are right. And I think in general, if you think back about it, right, I think Malaysian diet, we are mostly kenyang nasi. I don't know if you guys can still remember, right? When especially Malay, I'm not sure. So for Chinese, you can add on this. Example, we are in the table. We are on the table eating together with our family, and then our my mom will be like, tambah lah nasi, or like my auntie or my nenek, my grandma will like, tambah lah nasi, or they will just add for me, for example. So I think if you think about it, we are not feeling full because of like we are eating a lot of vegetables, and I don't think vegetable was really a thing back then, and that sounds good, right? I mean, we weren't forced to eat vegetables. Maybe some of the efforts that they made is by telling us, you have to eat like carrot, it's good for your eyes, for example. I think a lot of you can relate on this. But yeah, in general, if you think about it, we are feeling full because of the rice, right? And rice contain a lot of calories over there, right? For maybe just one scoop of rice, already 75 calories per se, right? Rata lah level, right? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. What about like Chinese also like that, or
there is this culture, right? I mean, family member, they will show their love through, hey, eat more lah. You can eat more. Like, and add on lah. If you're not enough, you add.
Yeah.
So as a kids and as the way we grown up and think, food is available.
Yep.
So especially our culture or general Malaysian or Asian culture is that we take rice with side dish. Rice will always be the staple food. No matter where we go, rice must be the biggest portion.
Yep.
And only we add on like chicken,
Yep.
vegetables. And I agree with you, vegetable is not really focused even up until now. Because even if you go to Chinese restaurant, if you see how they order, maybe they'll have 3 meat side dish, one vegetables. And that is the portion that you until now it is still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
just the culture itself.
And is it really a culture that you are gonna eat rice with chopstick? It's like, I think I saw like some Chinese friend before they eat the bowl of rice. Like that. Is that a real thing or something? Because I feel like if let's say you're eating rice with chopstick, then you might not actually overeat it because it's very small portions that you can put it into your mouth, you know. But if let's say Malay, we use hand, right? Then, you know, we can take as much as we can, and then we eat a lot at one time, and then we won't feel full.
For me, chopsticks is just like another utensil that we usually use, but traditionally, mainly in Chinese, we use chopstick. But if let's say we use chopstick, right, I've seen a lot, when they eat like that, they actually eat very fast because very small portion. It was. So there is a tendency still to overeat and then to actually refill. Yeah.
Understand.
Yes.
So I think now you guys can kind of like relate why Malaysian are pretty obese. You know what I mean? Yeah. What about the data that we
I
found
think
out?
this is the latest data. 1 out of 2 adult Malaysian, they are either overweight or obese, and even for children, right, 1 out of 3.
I see.
So it's really an alarming data.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's pretty scary. But again, if you think about it, we were being nurtured. You know, like even when we were a kid, right? If you guys can remember what we were saying in the beginning of this session, right? This recording, it's like how I grew up, how he grew up. It doesn't make much of difference, you know. Like we were introduced with a lot of food. Yeah. So I think this is something that we really wanted to just like talk about it, so that everybody actually has the awareness at least, you know, at least you know what's going on, because at the end of the day, we are going to be parents, right? We are going to change the generation. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I think it's still a good thing for us to like just bring out, for us to like just talk about it with everyone. Yeah. So I think this is the first part that we should have finished the recording, right?
Yes.
And we're supposed to continue our next episode next week.
Yeah. So let's talk more on next episode.
Yeah, stay curious. You might want to know more about what we're gonna talk later, because what we were just letting you know was mainly about ourselves, about, you know, like about how we grew up. And feel free to leave a comment if you think that we miss out anything important as well. So stay tuned for the upcoming episode, and we will talk more about it soon.
All right.
See you guys.